I know it's hard to remember all 1,980 members. That's why you have to go and collect them all. Tell your parents they can buy them at the mall now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Speeding Bullets Repackaged. I am Richie. We have a sulking Tupper because I just told him to shut up.
That was my pose to start off this episode. Mainly because Richie forgot to share the stream, and he's like, "Are we ready to go? All right, here we go." And I'm like, I can't hear the music. How I know it's time for the show.
Yeah.
Here we are. Hey, everybody, it's Topper. Welcome to Speeding Bullets Repackaged. It is fun times in Toy Town.
It sure is.
Fun times in Toy Town today. We're back with another episode. This past week was a little late because the entirety of Richie's family was sick.
Yes, as you saw at the trail end of last week's video, which had included a couple creative editing parts.
Nice job on that.
Yeah.
Nice job on that, by the way. Good job.
Yeah, I'm learning how to do those parts because I tell you one thing, it's a lot easier to do it for just audio because it's very easy to transition just audio like that, but when you've got a picture, You've got to do something, and I've been playing around with different transitions and stuff, so yeah.
Look at you learning how to be an editor.
I know, right? But what were we talking about? Oh, yes. So the end of last week, I had to rush out because my daughter got sick. I had to go pick her up, and she only went back to school like yesterday because she got a double ear infection. Jen's my partner. She's got pneumonia, and she's actually back at the hospital right now because she hasn't seen any improvement. So craziness. So you didn't get to see a bunch of figures that I wanted to show you last week, but I'll show you them at the trail end.
Yeah, we got we have a little bit of we have new stuff that you haven't seen before, but we also have a little bit of a revisit of some of the stuff we showed you last week. A little bit of second thoughts.
Yeah.
On the Batman 89 that I got, including some photos that I took and posed myself, so you can see my awesome posing skills, and a little bit of a revisit on Maximum Spider-Man because I have some more thoughts.
We kind of had to rush through the Maximum Spidey stuff a little bit, so.
Rush, and yeah, you get we get to show your package figures that you had last week.
Yeah.
Didn't get to show on the pod.
That's right.
So here we go. It's another massive episode of joy for your YouTube faces. Click like, click subscribe.
There we go.
Hit that bell button so you can be notified of all of the goings on.
That's not my bell button. That's the air horn.
and we're back to this pose.
All right. Let's get right into it. I think I may have got 75% of the G.I. Joe's names correctly.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Of the updated pictures that I posted?
Yes. Of the 4 that you sent me.
Okay.
So the first one,
so
that's a version of Snake Eyes, correct?
Yes, that is correct. These are the. There was a whole bunch of promotional images for this upcoming series, which I think is releasing in September, October, November, maybe of this year. I didn't want to post them all, so I just put one of each, just so we get the actual production image, the actual finished figure. So yes, this is indeed Snake Eyes, version 7. I want to say.
I wonder.
I feel like this is version 7.
Looking at his leg there, and just knowing how I know how great G.I. Joe is with accessories, do you think that little leg knife pouch, all those knives, are individually removable?
100% no. That's a 100% no, my friend. This is I think the whole figure, except for the lower legs, is reuse. Mm-hmm. So, pretty sure this is a reuse 100% figure. I'm still gonna get it because I'm a Snake Eyes stan. I'm obsessed with Snake Eyes, but yeah, this is 100. I think this is 100% used. I'll have to get it, and we'll talk about it when it comes out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that 100%. That and the reason you mentioned the knife pouch, I'm pretty sure that came with another figure.
Oh, did it?
So
Okay.
I know it's all molded together. That's okay. That's okay.
You can only wish, right?
I mean, they do a good job. If we're being honest, they really do a great job with those figures. So there is reuse. There was a lot of reuse back in the old '83 line as well. So not the end of the world.
Exactly.
Really,
You're going to have
the color
accessories
scheme
with
and
it.
how they put it together. Yeah, it's about how they put it together. And again, the color scheme of this is as we talked about before, based on a retro design. So yeah, I'm gonna get that stuff.
All right.
That stuff.
Next one, I believe, is that Major Blood?
Major Blood is correct.
Yeah.
The Australian menace, Major Blood, Sebastian Blood, I think is his name.
But Sebastian Blood, isn't that the same name as Mr. Brother Blood from DC?
They might have ripped off G.I. Joe.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Or G.I. Joe ripped off DC. I don't know. As previously discussed, this is, again, the reissue of the Major Blood figure that came out as part of the Cobra Island line back in 2020, I want to say 21. And it's just a straight repackage with some changes to the color scheme. You didn't get it back then because most people didn't. This is the time to get it. I thought this was a retro carded figure. It's actually regular release. So it will be in the box. It won't be on a card. And that means that we'll probably get a retro Major Blood at some point that's more in line with the figure from the 80s, which would be great. I will get that one. This one I already have. But if you don't, get it.
Quick update for you. Sebastian Blood is, in fact, the alter ego of Brother Blood in DC Comics. First appearing in August 1982, and I'm going to quickly look up when Major Blood came out. Just out of curiosity, because now my interest is piqued.
I feel like it was more like 80. Yeah, it would have been about the same time, Richie. It would have been about the same time.
Major Blood Knock... No, that's not okay. Hold on.
Major Blood Knock.
Hold on.
No.
That's not the right
Where's
one.
we need her to the actual fact checking?
We'll look it up. I'll find it afterwards.
Richie can't read. Everyone knows that.
I can only do so many things at once.
I'm kidding. Richie can read, just not words with more than 5 syllables.
All right, the next G.I. Joe.
We're just going to let that hang there as a super dark insult.
Make him feel like an asshole. Tomahawk, right? That's Tomahawk?
No, Monkey Wrench is the name of this figure. I do love this guy. This is, again, one of those more obscure Dreadnoks, and when the digital render came out, it looked pretty good, but the physical photos for this guy, this is, again, a must. I think this is a must get. The face sculpt on this guy is great, and he comes with glasses, and he comes with a mask. 10 out of 10. Like, very, very nice job from the G.I. Joe team on this one. Mm-hmm. Great work.
There is a G.I. Joe named Tomahawk, though, isn't there?
No, there's a giant helicopter called the Tomahawk.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Which they would definitely change the name of nowadays.
Yeah, exactly.
So they were pretty good. Again, they had a character called Spirit Iron Knife, who was an indigenous character, and he was part of the first line back in 1982. Mm-hmm. And it's widely agreed that he was well represented, and they took care when they were designing his character and his backstory and stuff to be, proper in the representation for his indigenous background. So they did a good job there, but obviously the Americans have a rife history with using Native American and indigenous names to make into sports/military reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lastly, G.I. Joe-wise, we got Cobra Commander.
Cobra Commander is correct. This is the armored Cobra Commander, the one we were all excited about. And boom, here you go. He's fresh. He's super cool. He's ready for the 90s. I don't know. Again, this is a absolute must get. I think pre-orders are up for it right now. But again, he's not going to be released until the fall. So yeah. I'm going to wait until a couple of weeks before he's available, and then I'll buy it.
See, that's the thing.
I'll absolutely have this.
I don't know when it comes to like G.I. Joe how vital pre-order is or not, because for like when I'm looking at Marvel and DC figures, to me it's like you need to pre-order these or you chance not getting them.
Well, this is the thing, though, is that when the line was originally released, pre-orders, I think, were almost essential, but they also had exclusives at Target, they had exclusives at Walmart, and depending on how you went about that process, you're, 6 of one, half dozen the other. You might get it and you might not. And that's why a lot of collectors of the G.I. Joe Classified line were kind of, for the first 2 years, were a little bit bummed out because we would go to try to get something and it wouldn't be available. And the pre-order system was not as extensive as it is today on those fronts. So, but now we know, obviously, GameStop gets Target exclusive, GameStop gets Walmart exclusives. It's not available exactly at the same time, but they do have them. So when they are available, you can pre-order them through GameStop, and it does allow you to get more access, which is great. But most of the stuff is, again, available through Amazon, and sometimes the pre-orders are 6 months in advance. I haven't missed out on something that I've wanted except for the Range Viper. That was a Walmart exclusive. I never saw it available at GameStop. I never saw it anywhere else.
The only thing that I missed out on recently since I started collecting was the Batman Reborn Robin, the Damian. Only because I didn't realize that I had to fucking search DC Direct to find the page punchers on the GameStop site. So I found that out recently when I couldn't find Kingdom Come Superman and Supergirl. And I'm like, where the fuck are the links? But I found it, so.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I love the idea that you can pre-order something so far in advance, but it does infect a part of my brain that doesn't like paying for things that I don't get right away.
Well, it's the good thing about GameStop. When you pre-order it in store, you don't put anything down. If you pre-order it online for store pickup, you put $5 down. If you pre-order it online for home delivery, then you're paying everything. So yeah. So I mean, there's good and bad advantages for it, but it's also like I don't like ordering something, even if I'm not paying for it right away, and then having it take sometimes months and months and months, which you've experienced recently, where stuff you ordered in like February and it's still not on your doorstep today at the end of April. So, I think it depends on your proclivities for these things. Yeah. I'm just old school. I like to buy something and have it available. I like to order something and know it's going to come in like a month. And that's what I do when it comes to my advanced purchasing is like, oh, well, it comes out on May 1st. Okay, I'm good to order it like April 10th, for example. Yeah. Like I've done that. I've done that before with stuff. The way I approach it is I want to secure it so that I know I will have it. So... Yeah. Again, a lot of the stuff is pretty easy to find. It is available out there. These 4 G.I. Joe figures in particular are going to be easy to find. They will be available out for people to get. But it is, you got to still, I think, put it in your brain of like, how bad do I want this? And you should be looking into some of these things in advance of their release just to make sure. Your mileage may vary. I'm about a month. Richie doesn't mind. 2, 3, 4 months sometimes in advance. Pick your poison. Yeah. It's all what works for you.
Your poison.
Moving from G.I. Joe, we got a quick little dip into some Marvel pre-orders. I've got the first 2 images of the Daredevil Born Again Punisher with a very, very good likeness of John Bernthal, I have to fucking say.
Figure's fucking awesome. Yeah. This is an awesome figure, man. Yeah. Like, I am definitely getting this. He looks great.
Well, that's good because
he looks so good.
I pre-ordered 2 from GameStop, so...
Yeah, you did. That's my boy. I like Richie and I talked about this in a previous episode. I didn't love the Punisher or the Daredevil figure. I was very meh on the Daredevil figure. I was like, it's fine. But there's a better version of that figure coming down, and I think when season 2 hits, they'll have a better costume that's more in my brain accurate to Daredevil on TV. I'll get that. But this is awesome. Yeah. This is going to be a big
switch to the second picture.
Hit, I feel.
The second picture just has the last picture just has shows him with his accessories. So he's got 2 extra hands, a hatchet, a knife, and a pistol that's going to come with it. And I'm assuming you're going to be able to holster that pistol. So,
yeah, maybe. I just can't wait for him to be on my shelf, being like, "You think this is the right? You think this is right, Red? I'm gonna do it this way, Red. Come on. You know you're an asshole, Red." Ah, man, it's great stuff.
I love it.
That's a terrible John Bernthal impression from Daredevil, by the way. I do a better Kingpin, where he's very much like this. All right, we're gonna go. We're gonna do the thing.
And he's very, like, the way he moves, too, when he talks.
Very stinted.
So, but yeah.
You're gonna get back into the job.
Not a whole lot of Marvel pre-orders, but there was a big thing that happened recently called Superman Day. And on Superman Day, also, I would like to note that there's always a fight. There's 2 camps for Superman Day. There's the April 24th camp or whatever it is, and then there's the June 12th camp. There's 2 Superman Days. That's for another podcast, but just throwing it out there.
Well, so is April like 19th or 18th his birthday?
No. I don't know why they picked...
So why?
I don't know.
Is it the day? How do you not know? This is your area of expertise.
Because I smoke a lot of pot and I forgot some of the details.
Oh God!
But I will get the rest of those details, and we'll talk about them somewhere.
For the other podcast, but yes. Anyway, continue.
Yes. So as I was saying, unfortunately, I'll tell you right now, I did not bring up a picture of the. I did not include a picture of the kaiju figure that is coming out for Superman. It looks cute. I'm assuming it's going to be a fun part of the movie, but it's not a figure I'm going to get. So
looks cute. He's cute.
Yeah.
He's cute. I just want to like sit him down and pet his head and just tell him that he's a good boy.
But now, speaking of good boys. Up on the screen, we've got Superman and Krypto, the David Corn Sweat Superman. They're actually doing 2 different releases for the Superman figure. Why you would want a Superman without Krypto, I don't know. But you can get it without Krypto or you can get it with Krypto. I have pre-ordered 2 Superman and Kryptos, so...
This, first of all, great likeness, great design on this figure. Love the cloth cape. But Krypto is going. This is going to be a sellout because Krypto is this not so secret star of the Superman movie.
Krypto's
like, every time.
Krypto's the Grogu of Superman.
It's so great when that first trailer came out and you see him and you look at his face. You're like, that is what people are going to be going to see this movie for. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Superman fans will go for Superman, but everyone else is like, I got to see that dog. And every time the dog is not on screen, we're going to be like, where's Krypto?
Yeah.
It's like Poochie, but Poochie was good. That's what this is. We want people to be asking, where's Poochie? They're going to be like, where's Krypto? And it's like he's in the background just like hopping around and we'll be going, there he is. There's my boy. Good boy, Krypto. Good boy. And soon we'll be able to have this on our shelf and be able to look at him as you're walking by and go, good boy, Krypto.
Yeah.
Who's a good boy?
I do have a Krypto on my
Who's
shelf.
Who's a good Krypto?
Already. Well, I do wish, it doesn't look like it, but I do wish there would be some articulation in the animal figures for DC. As we know, like here's Tupper's Streaky that I have for him. It is not articulated at all, but it works for what it is.
I agree. I think this would have been a absolute win if you could have replaced the head with, say, a more growly head. I'm assuming there's a scene in the movie where he gets angry and he has laser eyes.
Yeah, I'm betting.
James Gunn's got to put that in there. I mean, it's just impossible that he wouldn't. And that would have been nice to have as a figure. But they'll just probably release another version with the angry face and the laser eyes. And you know what? We'll spend money on it.
Yeah, it's true. Next up, we have Lex Luthor. I was going to say David Corn Sweat, but Nicholas Hoult, who will be playing Lex Luthor. I don't know what he comes with. I haven't seen any other promotional images or anything for him, whether he has accessories. I'm not super jazzed on this Lex figure so far. I'm not saying that Nicholas Hoult will be bad in the role or anything. It's just this figure is just some dude in a suit. You know, like I've got Alfred Molina over there, so I don't...
Exactly. I think the likeness is spot on here, and I think that's the big selling point, is that it really does look like Nick Hoult. So they did a great job with that. But I'm with you, Richie. Suited action figures are hit and miss.
Like I don't think. And I do have two suited figures. One's the Joker, so it's the Joker. His suit's cool anyway. And then the other one's a Court of Owl person, and then that's because it came in a 3-pack with talons and stuff. I wouldn't have bought that individually. So
I think it's hard to make suited figures because it's hard to make articulation and have the suit look good.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it always ends up falling apart for me. Like they've done some pretty nice work with Professor X over the years, but it's still like you only get so much posability out them at this level. So you sacrifice movement of the suit to, have the suit look good. And it's like, I don't know. But this does look nice.
Yeah. Like, so I'm not knocking it at all. It's not something I anticipate adding to my collection, and I haven't pre-ordered it. Next up, we've got Mr. Terrific, holding a couple of his T-balls there in his hand. And yes, they're called T-balls, or T-spheres, I should say.
They're called... they're not called T-balls. They're called T-spheres.
I obviously want to call them T-balls, but that's me. This figure, I thought about getting the other Mr. Terrific figure that had just came out, and I'm like, I'm going to wait. One, because the vinyl jacket on the other the comic book Mr. Terrific kind of looks goofy. Two, I don't know what it is, but I have a feeling I'm really going to enjoy his performance as Mr. Terrific. I haven't pre-ordered the figure yet because I'm not sure, but I might end up getting this figure at some point. I don't think it's up for pre-order anyway yet. So.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. This is also, I think, a gold label figure, so it may be available in limited quantities, but I feel like it's going to have different faces that you can switch.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to have a bunch of accessories. I think you're going to be able to change the facial expression on this guy, and that might...
I realize, speaking of facial expressions that I expect someone to have, I just realized I totally forgot to grab a picture for the Metamorpho figure. That's coming out. So sorry we don't got that coming, but that is up for pre-order already, along with the Superman and the Superman in Crypto. I didn't pre-order it. I'm not sure if it's a figure I'm going to want to get yet. I like the character. It's just not something I'm thinking I need for my collection, and I also want to see how he fits in the context of the film as well.
I'm not going to lie, the drawstring shorts that he's wearing on the figure kind of look goofy.
Yeah. It's one of
those things I think it'll make sense in the movie, but in the toy, it's like, eh.
Now, one thing that I would...
It looks like Metamorpho is a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah.
And he's unemployed, and he's just like, well, here's an afternoon of me, stuffing Cheetos into my face and watching, the Real Housewives. It doesn't exactly elicit an excitement when it comes to a toy on your shelf. So we'll see.
Plus,
see on that one.
With him, and I didn't see anything like that, I would expect to see some sort of accessories where, his limbs are changing shape and into different materials. But that's me. The next one, not available for pre-order yet, but one that I will definitely be getting, and is the Robot number 4, as seen in one of the latest Superman trailers. I love the robots already. I have a feeling myself that somehow in some way Robot 4 is going to end up being Kal-X, one of Superman's very famous robot companions, I guess you could say. Maybe,
Yep.
maybe when if he gets destroyed, he puts him into the Kelex type body or something like that. Maybe that's what it is.
Well, Richie, one of the voices of the robots in the extended trailer is Alan Tudyk.
Yeah.
He is voicing one of the robots. So my guess is that he's a bigger name. He's probably going to be playing Kelex in the film as well. So
yeah,
I think your theory is correct. I think you're on point with that.
yeah.
But
I have a lot of things rolling in my head about the Superman movie and what could happen and stuff. So I was surprised that they didn't include. There was also a bunch of superhero DC superpower stuff for the Superman film as well. There's a Fortress of Solitude playset. In the superpower stuff, they have a Guy Gardner and a few other characters. I think they had a Hawk Girl as well. I'm surprised they didn't reveal a Guy Gardner Green Lantern figure amongst these figures. I know one just came out, but this is, like the Nathan Fillion.
that's why.
So
I think that's why. I think they're also staggering in it because they do want to show more production photos from that line, and there's probably a lot more figures coming from that line as well. So I think one of those things, like we'll release some images on Superman Day.
Yeah.
Superman Day. And then maybe the next Superman Day, they'll release even more photos as we lead up to it. But yeah, when they do, we'll put them on here. We'll talk about them. Yeah. And we'll finally show those Metamorpho ones with maybe some accessories, and I can make fun of him more as
his board shorts.
As unemployed Metamorpho.
if
I just don't got it.
If Andy from Parks and Rec was Metamorpho.
That would have been okay. Side note: that would have been hilarious if Chris Pratt didn't end up playing Star-Lord and James Gunn wanted to put him in something, and it was end up Metamorpho. That would have been very, very, very funny. But whatever is, I can't remember the name of the actor that's playing Metamorpho, but he's going to do a great job. So,
I know who you're talking about, but also cannot remember his name.
He's in that show. He was in Barry.
Yeah. So we got some Star Wars stuff next. The first two are figures from a couple of the video games, and I'm not super. I think the dude's name is Dash Rendar. I'm not sure if the girl's name, and I forgot to look those up prior to the show. But if you were a fan of those properties that have those characters, there's figures for you.
Okay, so first of all, Richie, Dash Rendar is from the Shadows of the Empire series. It was a game, yes, for the N64, but it was also like a storyline that took place in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And it was a big deal in the mid-1990s because this was, again, before the prequels came out. We were looking for any kind of Star Wars stuff. And the Shadows of the Empire stuff was new villains, new heroes, along with Luke and Han and Leia and Darth Vader. They had new bounty hunters. It was a pretty extensive thing that a lot of Star Wars fans that aren't me got into. I only had the Micro Machine stuff. But people have been asking for a Dash Rendar figure for what feels like forever. Mm-hmm. So now you have a Dash Rendar figure to go. And it's great. You can act things out. There's a Shizor. He was the villain from that series. He's been available in the past. So there you go. Your action figure dreams have been made, Star Wars fans. You finally got a Dash Rendar. Mm-hmm. He looks good. I mean, I wouldn't touch that figure with a 10-foot pole, but whatever.
As we all know, as much as I enjoy Star Wars, that's an action figure collection that I cannot fall into because it's just endless. Could you imagine? Could you imagine me being a Star Wars action figure collector instead of DC and Marvel stuff? How crazy I would be!
I mean, it's not as, but that's the thing though. With Star Wars, it's not as extensive releases as it is with DC because you might get 15, 20 figures a year. Whereas G.I. Joe and you with DC, we're getting like 60 figures released in those lines a year. It's a lot. So Star Wars is, again, they space it out pretty evenly, but yeah, I mean, depending on what comes out, I mean, obviously now that Andor is out, they'll have a whole line for Andor, which we will reveal here when they start putting them out. I think they actually released photos of 2 figures just recently, just like yesterday.
Did they do figures from season 1?
They did do figures from season 1. So they'll do figures for season 2. They have 2 stormtroopers that were released. We'll talk about those next week when maybe they have more images revealed. But yeah, anyway. I will say this. We're going to show some figures in a second that I am heavily considering getting.
Do you mean the Chewie and Han Solo figures?
I 100% mean the Chewie and Han Solo figures.
They're really good looking. Like,
it's a pretty good likeness of 1970s Han Solo / Harrison Ford, and it's Chewie. And these are pinless releases. So we've never had the pinless in Star Wars before, which is great. I'm again, like, Star Wars stuff tends to be expensive, so I'm pretty nitpicky about spending $50 on a fucking toy that is just a guy with a gun, and that's what you're paying for the license, man. Yeah. You're paying for the license. But I've never had a Han Solo, and I've never had a Chewbacca. Even with the original Star Wars line in the 80s, I never had Han Solo, and I never had Chewbacca. So I'm like, do I want to get a Han Solo and Chewbacca? We'll see. But I really like these. I like how they look. I'm glad they're re-releasing this stuff. Yeah, so I got to think about it.
Yeah.
But I'm a big solid, like, right now I'm at about a 5 on the get list. We need to be at a 9.
A 9, okay.
Like, so I'll think about it a little bit more. My life won't be disappointed without them, but I mean, it would be nice to have a Han and Chewie.
Yeah.
But then you gotta get a Luke, and then you gotta get a Leia,
and then you gotta get a Millennium Falcon.
Well, I'm not getting. Well, okay, slow your roll. We're not going crazy here. Like,
Where are they going to live, Tupper? Where are they going to live?
Well, I think they're going to do a HasLab of the Millennium Falcon at some point. I 100% think that they will. It will be the size of 2 of your kitchen tables. It will be immense. And it will cost $1,000, and Star Wars fans will be like, just take my fucking money. And it'll be ridiculous, but whatever. So.
Yeah. Bantha. So first up, I've got the Tusken Raider riding the Bantha with the box art. Looks like it's a nice and hairy figure. You're gonna have some synthetic hair to go with the Bantha look. I'm gonna switch photos as we go. Just different angles and looks at the Tusken Raider as well as the Bantha. But I'd say the Bantha I kind of want.
Now this is again, this is in the vintage collection, so they are the 3 3/4 inch figures. So this Bantha is about, I don't know, about this big. Look at the screen, Richie.
Oh.
Look at the screen. It's about this big.
Okay.
He's about this big, so he's not huge. So it might look pretty good on your shelf. It doesn't fit in with the rest of your stuff, but it'll look, pretty good in your shelf, I think. Nice. It's nice. If you're into the 3 3/4 stuff, I love the real hair.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's
I bet you it's super soft.
It depends. Sometimes that synthetic hair is not.
Yeah.
It's sometimes it's very coarse and not lovely. It's not like something you want to.
I can tell you the synthetic hair on the Bluntman and Chronic figures that I got recently are really soft. Not that I wanted to make it weird. Not that I wanted to make it weird or anything.
Now I just picture your partner tucking you in at night and you're holding your Bluntman and Chronics in your hand and just be like, okay, you have a good night's sleep. You got your toys with you? Yes. Yeah. Good night, Bluntman. Good night, Chronic.
Yeah. It's true. Exactly that.
It's cute.
So last week when we sat down at Tupper's place, he was showing off his Keaton Batman '89, and as we talk a bit more about it, I'll go through the different the pictures that he sent me poses for it, because I think you have some additional thoughts.
I did. After messing around with the Batman '89 figure and taking some photos, which you will be able to see as Richie posts them up, in no particular order or anything. I just tried out some different poses with him. You know what? I think I gave this a 7 last week, and I feel like that's a little low.
It was a little harsh
because it's a little harsh, and I'm like just having it out and moving it around and messing around with the vinyl cape, which I hate. I hate that vinyl cape, but it does have a rigidity to it that does allow you to get some
good poses,
some nice poses with, depending on your action shot. Like the photo of him with the grappling hook looking up, I feel that's a good indication of what you can get out of this kind of figure, and it is nice. And the accessories are really strong accessories. They are nice. I think the Batarang's a little thick. There's a photo of the close-up of the Batarang just to show you how thick it actually is. But it's still nicely designed. It's nicely done. This is nice work by the design team over at McFarlane Toys, because really the accessories, even though they're not something you might pull out all the time, they do look really good, and they are very accurate to the '89 film. And yeah, I'm not thrilled with the Michael Keaton look. It doesn't really look like Michael Keaton, let's be perfectly honest. It looks okay. Again, I got that profile shot. He looks okay, but it's an imposing figure on your shelf. And again, the body sculpt, I think, is real good. It is nice. So, I mean, I'm bumping this up. I was too harsh. 7 out of 10 is not really good. I would say if you are a fan of Batman figures and you love collecting Batman figures, I mean, this is an 8.5 or a 9. Like, this is really high on that list. If you're just a regular collector of McFarlane stuff and you like the looks of those figures, I mean, this is more in like the 7.5 range. It is nicely done. The cape is garbage, and I'm already starting to see holes in the stitching.
Oh, really?
Just like doing the little moving around. And that's not great, if I'm being perfectly honest. But I think there's modifications you can make to this too. I have to try out some of the darker wire tubing that I have. I'm going to see if he can actually grab onto that to lift the cape up, because as you can see in the lifting of the cape designs, it's kind of goofy looking. And if I can get something to tie it into the rest of the cape and have it look more organic like he does in the movie, I think that'll be really cool. But it does. I think there's some really interesting poses you can get out of this. I think it's really there is some really good design work in this, and at the price that it's at, I think it is well priced. I think the price on this is properly priced. But I am very excited about the upcoming Batman Returns. I think the Batman Returns head is going to have more of a cowl into neck pose, which is missing from this one, where it's kind of like all uniform. And then I think it will be a good selling point for the figure, because this is missing that. And the Batman cowl from '89 and '92, as you will remember, connects to the neck. Yeah. He can't turn his head. He's got to turn his head and his whole body when he turns. But that's it. You get that great flush, like, bat cowl with the neck and the cape. It looks really cool. It does mean you're limiting your posing as far as what you're wanting to do on a shelf, but it is accurate to the pose and the look of the character from the films. So I think that figure is going to be a solid 9 out of the box. This one, I would say, for me, is 7.5. It is worth the money that it costs, but it's definitely not perfect. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happier with it now that I've had some time to live with him.
Cool. So last week, like we said, and I'll pull mine over from over here as I talk about it, even though I have it perfectly posed how I want currently. But we we talked about, and we had to kind of rush through our thoughts on the Maximum Spidey, and I'll go in and out of the different photos that Tupper has posted. But the one thing I really like, and that I was playing around with a lot is that joint at the butterfly for the arms.
The shoulders.
Yeah, that is a game changer for me in so many ways, and because I have difficulties with some poses sometimes, and that just gives you so much more freedom. I am a little concerned in the softness of the figure, because I feel like if you have display lights that aren't LED, you may risk melting this figure. Definitely do not leave it in the sunlight. The other thing is I've seen some concern about whether or not it's going to start like peeling or chipping off because of how soft it is. But overall, like, to me, this figure is a 9 out of a 10. Everything, the posability, like the softness, and the concerns are just concerns until I have like some like actual proof about how this may or may not happen. Then maybe I'm completely wrong, but it's such a versatile figure.
I think it's the longer lasting, or the what's the word I'm looking for? How
durability.
This is going to look. Durability is the word. Yes, that I think is a TBD, to be determined, because a lot of these kind of things we'll put in a pose, we'll put on a shelf, it'll stay that way for a couple of weeks / months, and then we'll repose him. And this one, I think, will hold up pretty well. But as you guys are seeing, if Richie's posing them while we're having this conversation, the photos that I took, I put them in a bunch of different poses, and I did start to notice towards the end of the photo session that he was like, like it was getting a little bit too comfortable with the movements. So it's almost like the joints were getting too used to being used. It was making them easier to pose, but it makes it harder for it to stay in that position over time. And that means that if you're messing around with it a lot, if you're giving this to your kid's going to break it in a week.
Yeah.
Like, no question. Hey, $53 down the drain in a week because they're going to break it. Like, I was just noticing that some of the joints, I'm like, oh, if you're messing around with this a lot, you're going to start to see breakage. You're going to start to see pull apart. And every time you change hands, every time you change heads, for something, because the plastic is so soft, you are really running a risk that over time you're going to be breaking something. And that is normal for action figure collecting, but at the $50 level, that's a bit of a harder pill to swallow if you've had this for a month and you're already breaking pieces off, which has not happened to me or Richie, but it is a higher price point figure. I do want to specifically focus on the negatives. I mentioned when we did our review, I didn't love the Statue of Liberty Spider Sense thing. I included that in one of my photos. Didn't love that. The hands, I said in the review that the non-gloved hands were ridiculous and a waste. And that is further proof. I put a photo up here so you guys can see the size of the friggin' hands, and compared to the Peter Parker head, they're ridiculously big. Like this, again, at this price point, what the fuck are you doing over there, Hasbro? Way too big. They don't even move. There's no wrist or swivel. Like, it's very disappointing. A complete and total waste. And I think even if you're a collector who likes to do different poses with different accessories, you're going to throw this out. It's going to sit in a box and you're never ever going to use it. If you're not a collector like we are, with the potential to resell, I might throw them out, if I'm being honest. I'm never going to resell this guy. I might throw those out because it's just complete useless as far as I'm concerned. They really dropped the ball there. But let's talk about this accessory for a second here.
The web shot.
Let's talk about this. I included a couple of photos of my Spider-Man figure being like, what the hell is this? Like, did they realize when they made this that it looks like sperm? Like,
Yeah.
it's not even a maybe. Like, this is ejaculate. Spider-Man is ejaculating all over the place. You have it on the little post thing, and it looks like he's fighting like giant sperm
Or throwing giant sperm.
It's like, geez, did he participate in No Nut November and it's December 1st? Like, is that what this is?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
The other thing with the accessories is, other than that one, there's no real way to include any of these web effects into a pose.
Yeah, it's very janky. Like, I mean, I have the like this one. I think this is nice overall, but it only works with the stand. And it is fairly floppy plastic, right? So, yeah, it's nice, but are you going to put this on a shelf with this stupid non-translucent stand? This is dumb. It's just very... This feels like they included this stuff with another action figure, and they're like, oh, we can tie this in and reuse it for the Maximum Spider-Man line. Like, I don't know, it just looks... cheap. And it feels cheap.
The way that they should have done it is there should have been some way to attach them to his hands.
Yeah.
Sort of, like with Flash, where he has the attachments for the lightning to go on his arms and leg and back and stuff like that. It should have been something akin to that.
It's just also kind of bizarre because the web shooting effects, where you actually have the webs coming out of the wrist that they did, are excellent, and I really like that. You have that on yours right now.
Yeah.
That's a win. But why these? Like, what is this? This is not something that people are going to get excited about. And as much as I like these as well, the actual web, how do you use these? I saw a YouTube video, maybe it was a YouTube video or maybe it was an Instagram video, where someone attached thin metal wires, and wrapped them around this so you can actually get some poses out of it. I thought that was a great idea. So I'm ripping that off from whatever user it is on whatever platform. Get some very thin metal wire and wrap it around the webbing that is included with the Maximum Spider-Man, and you can probably actually get some pretty cool poses out of it, where it can actually be posed in, say, this position, not flop all over the place like it does now. So there's a little tip for you. But yeah, like, this is great, but it's useless. So I wanted to reevaluate my 9 out of 10. I want to bring that down. The figure is a 10 out of 10 on its own. The posability is great, and I'd say 70% of the accessories are really great. And I've included that in a photo of him with all of his accessories. I'd say about 70% of them are awesome. All the hands are great. The heads are great, but the lack of different head sculpts is disappointing. And web effects are useless. The big hands, useless. Is it worth $53?
Maybe 40. 42 may have been a better price point for it.
I feel like they either need to reevaluate what they're putting into these toys, or they need to bring the price down, because I think the increased posability of the Maximum Spider-Man figure is the thing you want more than anything. The extra hands, yes, but that only puts it at about $45. And they probably could have saved themselves a little bit of manufacturing time by not including those web effects, not including the spider sense, not including basically the same extra spider head. So, I mean, is it worth your $53? I'm not sorry we got it, but I don't really feel it's worth that. I think that that 9 is coming down to about an 8.5, because there is really some Hasbro-esque issues here that they really should be thinking about with future releases. So, Richie, there is a third Maximum figure coming out.
What is it?
Later this year.
Oh.
You don't know.
I thought maybe you had some info. Okay.
No, I heard that there was a third one coming. So Hulk is coming in like
Hulk is let me check my pre-order list. Hulk is coming 1st of July.
So you might get it around the end of June, or you might get it the first week of July. So I'm excited to find out what your thoughts on that one are, for sure. I didn't want one, so I didn't get one. But I'm thinking, here's what I'm thinking. The third Maximum release is either going to be Captain America or Iron Man.
Okay. I could see also...
Those are my thoughts.
I could see Wolverine as a possibility as well.
Maybe, but we got some really good Wolverine figures last year, which I think we both got, all of them. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I feel it's Iron Man. I think Iron Man is what's coming. And I think Iron Man will be the first one to justify that. I think the price point that they're at, like the $53, $54 mark, is going to suit Iron Man really, really well. I think is going to be worth the price of admission.
If they do another Maximum Spider-Man, the biggest thing I'd have to say is they need to find a way to make those accessories posable. So,
yeah, or just not include them.
Yeah,
just leave them off and let the posability of the figure shine. And maybe also they should mess with price points for these things, and they can release a Maximum Spider-Man figure, or their Maximum line can be, like the figure and hands and a head for $46, $47. And then if you want the deluxe version and you want all this shit, you can get and pay the extra money. But I think they have to mess around with the model a lot more, because unless the Iron Man, and again, I'm just speculating that it's an Iron Man figure, unless the third figure that comes out this year is a 10 out of 10 knock it out of the park, they're not really starting off on a great foot with this line. It is not terrible, but they're not justifying that increased price point right now. But that's why I'm excited to hear your Hulk impressions, because we're going to see what happens from there.
All right, so at the tail end of last episode, I was going to get into some figures that I had just received, but one thing I forgot that I haven't gone through yet, that we did tell a story about, and that is I finally have all of the pieces for my Blackest Night set, because I got my Kyle.
What?
And so Kyle's here, which means I was able to build the great...
drum roll, please. Atrocitus.
He is big.
He looks pretty good.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, he looks pretty good.
I am really impressed. Especially like larger figures sometimes too. They sometimes tend to not make the most posable, but I find there's some great articulation here. He's going to be a great addition for my overcrowded lantern figure.
Let me see the head. Let me show me the head down a little closer. Oh yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah, they did a great job on the face.
That's nice.
So
that's nice.
I wish I had a Deck Star to go with him. I'm not sure if they ever made a Deck Star.
I have a Deck. I have a Deck Star.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it came with the old Mattel DC Universe line. There was a 3-pack with Deck Star and the Yellow Lantern disease figure, and I think it's Chip.
Oh, okay. Despotellis is the Yellow Lantern disease one. I'm just going to grab one of the other figures that I got, because I forgot to pull it off the shelf. And it's not in a great pose now anyway, so I don't mind pulling it down to move it around. I previously showed you the Chase version of the Power Girl. I received the Power Girl. It's an excellent rendition of her classic costume. That's why I bought both. I like Power Girl. She's a great character, and I like both costumes. And then, of course, this is the Streaky that came with her. No red eyes like the other Streaky, but still cool. And
again, the head sculpt on that figure is really
one thing I
really
love
well done.
is like I'm gonna start experimenting with some of these like blowing in the wind cape poses, because the wire that they put in the capes, the cloth capes, really do add such a big degree of posability for the cape. Like there's so much, and it's strong, and I don't know how it will last over the years, but I think it's a great idea, and I love it.
Much like the wires that are included in a lot of figures in the 80s for, like tail articulation and everything, they do wear down over time, it's true. But I think it depends on how much you play with it, the care that you take with those figures. I have wire tails in some of the NECA Alien figures that I've gotten, and honestly, like, I'm not super worried about their durability, because it's not like I'm running them around and messing around with them too much. I think you just have to be very careful, and you have to mold them almost like you're playing with Play-Doh when you want to get them to shape. And I think for the capes, it's kind of the same thing. You're not jerking it around too much. I think that, and you're very careful to like kind of work with the metal wire-ature. I think it's something that will last.
This is the Silver Age Superman that I got last week as well. But I love just because like it's so many ways to pose the cape that like ways that I've seen the cape on comic book panels. It's just, so I'll put Silver Age Soups there to kind of look in the corner.
Yeah. Bob Dylan is very impressed. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind.
I think this is probably the best S-curl that they've got on a Superman figure ever.
It's a really nice face too. Very nice job.
It's very it's a very warm and welcoming face. Like that's what you want from Superman. But moving on from that,
you got one of those too, buddy.
I picked up also the Dr. Fates. I am hoping to as well get the Chase version. That is the more look that Tupper and I are used to, and our preference.
Likes that look.
I like both looks. I like the Silver Age Dr. Fate, and so I'm going to be on the look for a Dr. Fate Chase. I haven't seen it at Sunrise yet, and but Amanda told me when I picked him up, he's like, this is the only one they sent me, so then if they see I have none, they'll send me another. Maybe it'll be a Chase. So, there wasn't any. The only thing I would say with the Dr. Fate is there should have been some different hands to do some poses, and maybe some like Dr. Fate mystical symbols that you could like pose.
Is it just that?
Yeah, it's just that.
Is it just it just comes as that?
It just comes as that.
For $30?
No, these ones were $29, I believe. So, yeah, $30. Yeah.
So, $30. Yeah, it's just, again, like when you see something like the Dr. Fate, even though it does have a posable cape, and I see my Batman 89 and all of the accessories that come with that Batman 89, I mean, that is, you are more than getting your bang for your buck in that. And Dr. Fate just coming as is, I don't know. That's not so great, man.
This one didn't arrive by last week, but I got it since. The Kingdom Come Superman has come in for me, but my Women of Tomorrow Supergirl hasn't. But it's such.
She's still stuck on a stolen truck. She's still the truck has been. The police are chasing the truck as we speak, Richie. It's like O.J. Simpson down the 405, just like, well, we're closing in on the Supergirl truck.
I have him posed here as best as I can, like the cover of Justice Society number 10 that it came with. So,
I mean, it does look like he's hiding an awkward boner.
I think he peed himself. It's super pee.
Yeah, it glows green like kryptonite. That's the problem with it.
Funny enough, this Superman, the Silver Age Superman, and I also didn't show the other one. I got so many new things recently. What they term as the 1940s Superman. We all know it's Fleischer, and it's a great rendition. I posed him, like classic Superman hands on the hips pose. This Superman, Kingdom Come Superman, and Silver Age Superman all come with the same exact extra hands. So if I were to ever lose a hand for this guy or any of them, I can replace it with the other ones.
Mix and match.
That's like, I joke about it, but that is kind of a downer that they, didn't take the time to maybe include some extra hands. But, I
mean, again, when you're dealing at this level of, again, like, what do you get with your figure? I mean, again, like, yeah, I get it, but why? I think also people are figuring, well, why is somebody going to get the same Superman times 3? But that's how collectors work. Like,
obviously, because I just got the same fucking Superman.
I got four, soon to be 5 Snake Eye figures. Like, it doesn't matter. And even if you get this kind of some of the similar accessories between them, you do, I think, need to go out of your way to differentiate and put new things out there as a part of those lines. It would have been great if they had included, say, a pointing figure with one of those Supermans, and in another one, more of like a grasping hand, knowing that you can like mix and match. But what are you giving the collector that's unique that they can add to their collection and maybe mix and match with their other toys? That's why we're so excited about Maximum Spider-Man, because all of those, I have a ton of Spider-Man figures. I can mix and match those hands now with multiple other figures in my line, and even if it doesn't exactly match, it's close enough. Mm-hmm. You're not going to notice on the shelf the difference because the webs are just a little bit tighter or a little bit looser on the hands if you have a specific pose in mind. So, these companies do need to take that stuff into account. And if you stuck around after the credits at last week's episode, you would have heard the phone call from Amanda at my GameStop, because my mic is apparently really good. Tupper didn't even hear her on the phone when she called, but they had found my Guy Gardner. I'm really impressed with the Guy Gardner figure. He comes with three different faces. I have his what I call his cocky face on right now. There's more of his orgasm face. Yeah, this one's a sassy face, and then we have his serious face. And then he comes with his modern haircut as well, so you can. I like the modern haircut. Yeah, I like it. And then there's four extra hands. One where he can kind of point with his finger. You know where the camera is? Shut up. On your machine. And then a couple of like grippy type hands. I'm really impressed with this figure. They did really well. Initially, when you take the face off and put it back on, you can really, like, when you have it close up, you can really see the differentiation. Line? Yeah. And, the color, like, they didn't do a good job between blending the face color and the short hair color. But once you put it on a shelf and you back up a little bit, it kind of disappears. So it kind of works for the figure. I'm also noticing that the ear is a different color than the face. Yeah. It's the one just on the camera. Lastly, and you guys are saying, holy fuck, how many figures did Richie get? Well, I did get a lot. I know, Richie. But I pre-ordered a while ago. How are you not homeless? I pre-ordered most of these, but this is one that I didn't think that I was going to get at first, but by the time I went to go pick up Guy Gardner, I was like, you know what? I do want a Captain Cold. I do like the look of this figure. I know I've said, I prefer the modern look, but I told you should get this. I said last week you should get this. And are you happy with your purchase? I'm very happy with this. See? Always listen to me. It also comes with the great thing about his face is because
it goes into the hood, it hides the lines, right?
Hides the lines. Yeah.
So you've got a couple different faces there. You've got his like really angry face, his laughing sinister face, and then again you've got an assortment of different hands for different types of poses. And really, if I'm gonna have a good number of flashes on my shelves, I really should have some rogues to go around with it. I do have to say, I am 100% happy that I haven't gotten the Captain Boomerang figure, because the vinyl coat on him, the vinyl coat on him is just very janky and puffy and doesn't look good.
Vinyl is not great with most action figures. Please remember that, manufacturers who make this stuff. So what would you... Quick shots, what would you give review-wise to each one of those figures?
All right, if I'm gonna... the ones that I just recently bought, or you also mean like the Atrocitus and everything? Like everything as a whole? Everything?
Just the new
figures.
Stuff.
Okay, I'll go with the Supermans. The Kingdom Come Superman, the Silver Age Superman, and the Fleischer Superman. They're all gonna kind of lose a point for the interchangeable hands in between them. But other than that, they each have something special about them that I like. Like the Alex Ross likeness on the Kingdom Come Superman is really well done. I haven't seen a more hopeful figure ever than the Silver Age Superman figure, and the Fleischer Superman is just a great nostalgic, way before I was born, look at Superman. But I always loved going back and watching those older Fleischer Superman cartoons. Really, those were some of my first exposures, because when we were kids, we didn't have a lot of hero media until a bit later, so we were stuck things with like the Fleischer cartoons and that. I will give the Silver Age Superman a 9, and then the Kingdom Come and Fleischer 8.5. Just the hopeful look of the Superman just really adds that extra to it. I would have preferred some different hands, maybe to allow some different poses. Only one of them came with a flight stand. The Kingdom Come Superman is a page puncher, so it's not in the traditional McFarlane box. It's an annoying blister pack that is now destroyed. And so they don't include flight stands with those. And then the Silver Age and the Fleischer were McFarlane Digital. No, the Fleischer wasn't. I don't know why the Fleischer didn't come with a flight stand then. It was in a standard McFarlane box. It should have had a flight stand. But the Silver Age Superman did, so...
Richie, the Fleischer Superman wouldn't come with a flight stand because all he could do was
leap tall buildings in a single bound. The Guy Gardner, I'm going to give him a 9 as well. He just kind of loses some points with some of the lines on the faces, and like the color matching isn't quite there. I like the idea of switching faces. I just think they have a little bit of work to do with that. At least McFarlane does. Sorry, McFarlane. The Power Girl, that's an 8.5 for me. Comes with Streaky, classic character, classic Superman family character. I don't have a lot of bad to say about the figure, but it's also not perfect. There's things you can do better. Maybe if she didn't come with any extra. No, she had a couple extra hands, but maybe there could have been some like heat vision effects or something laser. Like that. I think. Yeah. Every Superman family character should have some sort of laser eye feature attached. And not, well, I mean the Power Girl, the Chase version of the Power Girl that I have over my shelf there, she has red eyes, but you should be able to, like, that head should have come with this one, and they should have had the other head come with the other one as well on top of.
I think the factor is also too, you cannot switch the heads.
Yeah.
If you could switch the heads, that changes the whole dynamic. I remember I got a Firefly figure, the first Firefly figure through the G.I. Joe Classified line. His head sculpt is perfect, 10 out of 10, wonderful. But the body has some posability issues, and when they came up with another Firefly figure, I was like, that's the posability body that I want. His head sculpt was good too, but it was more generic. And I was like, what I'll do is I'll switch the head from the older figure to the body of the newer figure, and I'll have the perfect Firefly. And do you know what happened, Richie? Is they changed the ball joint in the heads, so the older figure doesn't fit on the
Those
newer
fucking
figure,
bastards.
and then the newer figure's head does fit on the older figure, but that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
So I was pissed. It's still nice. I still like it, but I'm like, how dare you? Meanwhile, all the hands have the same joints, so they all switch. But you gotta, these companies, man, they're like always thinking. They're like, but the more versatility you give to your action figure collectors, the better, because I've switched all of the heads from all of my Cobra Troopers to perfect a bunch of different figures in my line, and they all have the same sculpts and the same ball joints, and it's worked out wonders. So again, do that with your lines, manufacturers. It makes the collectors happy.
Lastly, especially since this was basically a surprise acquisition for me because I wasn't intending on getting this, I am going to give it a 9.5. I find because of the way that the cargo pants on the character are designed, when you pull it out, it pulls away a lot it takes out a lot of the clunkiness when you see like the pins and stuff. And I think the only alteration I would probably make is for him to be able to holster his weapon in the pouch. That's...
Oh, you can't do that?
Yeah. So.
Well, he's nice though.
Yeah, if there's a gun,
he's a nice one,
and the character has a holster, to me, it's a 100...
You gotta be able to. He's gotta be able to put it in the holster.
Yeah.
Like the GI Joe line wouldn't be as popular as it was if you couldn't put the guns in the holsters. Yeah. It just makes sense. Get your heads in the game.
Yeah.
McFarlane. So they're just phoning it in. They know the license is coming up, or they're like, "Fuck it, we don't give a shit at this point."
But they're like,
we'll give them different
but
faces.
They're like, we know this Richie guy is gonna buy all this
Pasted.
fucking Superman stuff.
Anyway, I think we've run. We're running to the end of our.
That is correct.
Oh, yep. No. Oh, yep. The spermy web is saying that it's perhaps time for us to
wrap up.
Eventually.
Or maybe.
Oh, get out of here. Get out of here. No.
There you have it, folks.
Oh.
Another great episode of Speeding Bullets repackaged for you. You can find us on
another great. That's such bolsterous bullshit.
I know.
Like, we think it's, of course we think it's great, but like really the audience has to tell it. Did you think it was great? Leave a comment. What
if
do you
we
think of
have
our
confidence in our
commentary?
product, Tupper. But anyways,
the confidence is by doing it.
Like, subscribe to our YouTube page, Speeding Bullets Reload It. That's where we post all the repackaged content. I'm still trying to get some of the actual other episodes up there. You can email us at info@speedingbulletsreloaded.com. Check out all our social media at Speeding Bullets Reload It. And that's all I got to say.
Log on and tell us we suck.
That's right.
Or tell us we're great. If you're going to tell us we suck, though, we might tell you suck back.
That's true. Have a great one, folks. See you next week.
Okay. Bye. Double hands. Bye.
I know it's hard to remember.
Oh, get away from me, Spermy. No. Oh, God. Look at him. Jeez. Spermy wet bastard.